Hello friends, welcome back to VOWIAS. Welcome to the Prelims test series discussion. So as you all know, we are discussing the test 6 of Prelims and this is part 3 where we will discuss from question number 57. Right, so let us quickly begin. Now the question number 57 is on the Cripps mission. So Cripps mission, it was actually sent by the British so that India will cooperate with them in the Second World War. So this Cripps mission in March 1942 is the attempt by the British government to secure Indian cooperation in the World War II. The head of this Cripps mission is Sir Stafford Cripps. He is a senior politician in Britain and also he is part of the war cabinet. So what are the main proposals of this Cripps mission? If you see, the first what they said is India would get a dominion status and it would be free to decide its relation with the British and participate in UN and other bodies. After the war, a constituent assembly would be convened to frame a new constitution and the members would be partly elected by the provincial assemblies through proportional representation and partly nominated by the princes. The British government would accept new constitution if any province is not willing to join the union could have a separate constitution and form a separate state, and the new constitution will be made by the body consisting solely of Indians. And also British would negotiate the treaty for the transfer of power and safeguard the minorities. And the defense of India would remain in the British hands and the Governor General's power would remain intact. So these are the various things about this Cripps mission and its proposals. This Cripps mission, it came into being after it came actually after this August offer. This August offer was rejected by both the Congress and the Muslim League, and then after this August offer we got this Cripps mission. Next, the 58th question is on the civil disobedience movement. The civil disobedience movement, it was kicked off via Dandi March on 12th of March 1930 in Bengal after the onset of monsoon. So it was very difficult to manufacture salt. So it shifted to the anti-Chowkidar and anti-Union Board agitation. The villagers withstood repression. They lost thousands of rupees worth of property through confiscation and destruction, and they have to hide for days in forests to escape the wrath of police. All these things were there. And in Assam, students agitated against this Cunningham Circular. This Cunningham Circular is basically to force the students to give assurance for the good behavior, because if the students don't follow the rules and all, they will be taken off from the university. Maharashtra, Karnataka and Central Province, they also defied the forest laws. So this civil disobedience movement, in fact, it was a success to a certain extent, you can say. Or you can say the civil disobedience movement was initially suspended and then Gandhi went to this second roundtable conference. The Indian National Congress led by Gandhi and Sarojini Naidu, they participated in this second roundtable conference. Ambedkar participated in all the 3 roundtable conferences. Okay, these are some of the facts. Next, 59th question, it is on the pre-Congress campaigns. So the nationalist Indian demands during the pre-Congress campaigns, if you see, for the imposition of import duties on textile import, no expansion in Afghanistan or Burma, right to bear arms, freedom of press, reduction in the military expenditure, higher expenditure on famine relief, indigenization of civil services, right of Indians to join military and semi-military volunteer corps, right of Indian judges to try Europeans in the criminal cases. These are the various demands during this pre-Congress campaign. And most of the demands, if you see, they are similar to that of the moderate congressman. Next, the 60th question is on permanent settlement system. The permanent settlement system is also called the Zamindari system, launched by Lord. So it was started by Lord Cornwallis. So even question number 28, if you refer, the similar content is there. So what are the consequences of this permanent settlement system? The consequences is the state's share in this land revenue was increased. The land revenue was fixed at high level and the absolute maximum and customary rates were increased. This placed high burden on the farmer. No rules with respect to the collection of revenue from peasants. As a result, the zamindars, they exploited the farmers, because if you see, 10/11 has to go to the British and only 1/11 will go with the zamindar. So for the zamindar to maximize his profit, though he will get only 1/11, to get more profit, this 1/11 value should be more. So for the 1/11 value to be more, the zamindar had to exploit these farmers and take as much as he can. And that is what was done. The absentee landlordism increased. It is a consequential feature. The zemindar who took no interest in the development of agriculture, so this led to poor outputs and all, and the zamindars who were not able to pay the rent, the land was confiscated by the British. Next, the peasants faced double injustice of surrendering property rights plus being left at the mercy of zamindar. So these are the consequences of the permanent settlement system launched in 1793 by Lord Cornwallis. Next, the RR movement. This RR movement, it was started in 1910 under Muhammad Ali, Hakim Ajmal Khan, Hassan Iman, Zafar Ali Khan and Mazarul Haq. And this RR movement, if you see, it supported self-government and active participation in the militant movement. It is against the loyalist politics and Aligarh school and zamindars. On political front, the Deoband school welcomed the Indian National Congress. In 1888, it issued a fatwa against Syed Ahmad Khan's organization, the United Patriotic Association and the Muhammad Anglo-Oriental Association. Next, the 62nd question is on the All India Women Conference. So this All India Women Conference was founded by Margaret Cousins in 1927, the first women organization with an egalitarian approach. The first conference was at Ferguson College, Pune. The important founding members of this are Maharani Chinnammi Gaikwad, Rani Sahib, Sarojini Naidu, Kamaladev Chattopadhyaya, Lady Dorab Tata. All of them were the important founding members. What then the aim of this All India Women Conference is? The basic aim is to work for the society based on the principles of social justice, integrity for every human being, and the essentials of life, not determined by the birth or sex, but by planned social distribution. So all these concepts of justice, social justice, the rights, they were brought in. The All India Women Conference even worked towards the Sarda Act of 1929, Women's Rights Act of the Hindu Women's Right to Property Act of 1937, Factory Act of 1947, and so on. So they had a huge role to play in all these women-centric policies. Next, the 63rd question is on Jyotiba Phule. He lived from 1827 to 1890. Born in Satara, in Maharashtra, in a Mali community, he organized a powerful movement against the upper caste discrimination. He founded Satyasodhak Samaj in 1873, led by the backward classes, Mali, Kumbi, Saris, Dhangar, etc. In 1851, he started a girls' school at Pune with his wife, and soon others, many schools came up, and lot of women also started to come. What is the main aim of the movement? The main aim is, first is social service, second is spread of education among women and lower caste people, and the Phule works like the Sarvajanik Satyadharma, Gulamgiri, they became the sources of inspiration for the common masses. The Phule used various symbols like the Rajbali, so as the opposed to Brahman's symbol of Rama. He aimed complete abolition of the caste system and the Sanskritic Hinduism. These are the contributions of Jyotibai Phule. He belonged to Satara, Maharashtra. Next, the 64th question. 64th question is the Navagraha Ashtami Puja. So Navagraha Ashtami Puja, so recently why it was in news is, it was held after 3 decades at the ancient Marthan Sun Temple in Jammu and Kashmir in Matan. So just remember, Marthan Sun Temple is in Matan, Jammu and Kashmir. This was built by King Lalitaditya of Karkota dynasty of Kashmir in the honor of Sun and Martand in 8th century. It's a site of national importance and it is protected by the Archaeological Survey of India. One of the oldest sun temples like Konark, Almora, Modhera and Borsad Sun Temple, they are the oldest ones, and this is also similar one, the Marthan Sun Temple. So just remember, Konark Sun Temple is in Odisha. Okay, this Marthan Sun Temple is in Jammu and Kashmir. Remember these important ones. This also exemplifies the Kashmir architectural skills built in square field using limestone and pillars in Greek patterns. Also, they are destructed by Muslim ruler Sikandar Butshikan in the 15th century. This is about this Navagraha Ashtami Puja and the Martand Sun Temple of Jammu and Kashmir. Next, the East India Company. The East India Company is the English company formed in 1599 under the auspices of merchant adventurer So they got it granted under the royal charter and exclusive privilege to trade in the east by the Queen Elizabeth on 30th of December 1600. From the beginning, Queen Elizabeth was a shareholder of this company. In 1608, the East India Company decided to open a factory at Surat and sent Captain Hawkins to Jahangir's court. In 1613, Jahangir issued a farmana, golden farmana in fact, permitting the English to establish factory at Surat. Thus, the East India Company's first permanent factory was set up in Surat, and this is where they started to come into India and occupy various territories. Next, the 66th question is on Lokmanya Tilak. Lokmanya Tilak had close association with the Bombay work. It was one of the moving spirits in the formation of AITUC. The manifestation issued by AITUC urged workers not only to organize themselves but also to intervene in national politics. AITUC, All India Trade Union Congress, was founded by Lala Lajpat Rai in 1920. So Lala Lajpat Rai was the first president of this AITUC. It's a trade union basically. The INC's Gaya session of 1922 welcomed AITUC, and besides Lala Lajpat Rai, several nationalists, C.F. Andrews, J.M. Sengupta, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru, Satyamurthy, all of them became associated with the AITUC. C.R. Das presided third and the fourth session of this AITUC. Next, the 67th question is on the Indian National Army. After the first post-war Congress session in September 1945 at Bombay, a strong resolution was adopted declaring Congress support for the Indian National Army. Congress took up defense of the INA prisoners, and Balubhai Desai, Tej Bahadur Supru, and K.N. Kajju, Jawaharlal Nehru, Asaf Ali, all of them, they appeared in the court at the famous Red Fort trials. So in the Red Fort trials, basically all these captured soldiers, they were tried. All these soldiers, they were part of this Indian National Army, and they were caught by the British during various operations, like when the Japanese entered into the northeast and all. 3 INA generals, they arraigned for the first trial: P.K. Sehgal, Shah Nawaz Khan, Gurbakh Singh Dhillon. The defense lost the case and defendants were declared guilty, but sensing the rebellion mood, the Britishers were forced sentences of the convicted trio and released them. Next, the 68th question is on Gandhiji's public appearance. Gandhiji's first major public appearance after coming to India, opening of PHU in Feb 1916. His speech at the Banaras in February 1916 was at one level the statement of the fact where the Indian nationalism was elite phenomena, creation of lawyers, doctors and landlords, but at another level it was the first public pronouncement of his desire to make Indian nationalism the representative of Indian people as a whole. This was one of the major change after Gandhiji came, because before that the whole of Congress is dominated by these upper class people. The movements they did not inspire the masses to join. They did not take the masses into consideration for these movements. But this changed after Gandhiji came into picture. The donor princes and philanthropists, plus important Congress leaders, also like Annie Besant and all, they also attended it. And Gandhiji, in fact, he filled, or you can say, he ensured that the vacuum in the leadership in Congress end. Next, the 69th question is on Santals. Santals live in the area between Bhagalpur and Rajmahal. So remember, in Bhagalpur and Rajmahal. Even today's India, if you see, they are present in various states like Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha and all. Okay. So for them, the Dikus were mostly morally corrupt. Dikus are basically the outsiders who settled there. By 1854, the tribal heads, the Majis and Paraganites, they began to discuss revolt. The stray cases of robbing of zamindars and moneylenders began to occur. And the Santals, if you see, Sidhu and Kanho, so they were the principal rebel leaders, and they claimed that Thakur communicated with them, that means God communicated with them to take up arms and fight for independence. So Sidhu and Kanho, they are very famous. Forming bands of 1500 to 2000, rallying in thousands of calls of drums, they attacked Mahajans and Zamindars and their houses, the police stations, the construction sites, the carriers, all the symbols of Diku exploitation of colonial power. Next, the Santal insurrection, if you see, it was helped by non-tribal and poor Dikus. The Gawals, the milkmen and other helped the rebels with the provisions and services. Lohas, that means the blacksmen, they also accompanied the rebel bands, keeping their weapon in good shape. It mobilized tens of regiments under the command of the Major General, declaring martial law in the affected areas and a reward up to 10,000 for the capture of various leaders. So it's a huge revolt by the Santals against the British. Next, the 70th question is on the Sparsh, which is a system for pension. Sparsh is a system for pension administration. So, by the Ministry of Defence to meet pension sanctions and disbursement requirement for the armed forces. It's a web-based system. So, it processes pension claims and credits the pensions going to the bank accounts of the defence pensioners without relying on external intermediary. The re-engineered process of the pension disbursement from generation of pension BB orders to the DBT of pensions with the motto of right pension delivered in the right time. So remember, Sparsh is related to pension. Here P is there, S P. So here P stands for pension. Just remember like that. Okay. Next, the 71st question is on the widow remarriage. So Brahma Samaj took up the issue of widow remarriage, but Ishwachandra Vidyasagar, principal of Sanskrit College, Calcutta, got Hindu Widow Marriage Act 1856 passed, legalizing the widow remarriage. Jagannath Seth and Bahu Daji promoted the girls' school in Maharashtra. Vishnu Pandit founded Widow Remarriage Association in 1850s. Kashranda Mulji, contemporary of Dadabhai Naoroji. So he is an Indian social reformer. He worked for the cause of women emancipation. He is a prominent member of the Bombay Intelligentsia of 1850s-60s. He started the Satyarth Prakash in 1852 in Gujarat for widow remarriage. Next, the 72nd question. So this is the second Indo-Nordic summit hosted by Danish PM Mette Frederiksen, attended by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The first India-Nordic summit was held in Stockholm in April 2018. The second was scheduled in 2021 but got postponed due to the COVID. And US is the only country with which the Nordic countries have summit level engagement apart from India. And various discussions were held based on international peace and so on. Right. The Nordic countries, you have to know, so who all are these Nordic countries? 5 countries: Finland, Iceland, Norway, Denmark, Sweden. So they are called Nordic countries. Finns, Finds. You can just remember like this in a simple way. Okay. Right. Even the Faroe Islands, which is an archipelago of islands as autonomous country in the Kingdom of Denmark. So it's part of Denmark, you can say. It is also part of this Nordic. So this lies in the towards the northern Europe and you can say in the North Atlantic region. Next, on the sidelines of this summit, PM Modi met his counterparts from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, and Finland in the bilateral meetings. And Green Strategic Partnership was talked about, which consolidates the existing agreements establishing Joint Commission for Cooperation between India and Denmark. It was signed and agreed upon by the both countries on the 28th of September 2020, which mutually is beneficial to advance the political cooperation, economic relations, green growth, etc. So you can see in this image. So this is the Atlantic, right? In North Atlantic, you have the Finnish countries, Nordic countries. So Finland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark. All of them, they are part of this Nordic countries. Next, 73rd question. So this is with regard to the land. The British created a new form of private property all over the country. Land was made sealable, mortgageable and alienable. It was done to protect the government revenue. The British made land a commodity that could be freely bought and sold. Due to this stability, the Indian villages were shaken. So this was followed during the entire time of the British. They commoditized the land. That was one of the major issue. Be it the zamindari system, or be it the mahalwari, or be it the rayatwari. Commoditizing this land is the major issue, and that's why we need to carry on these land reforms post independence, which are still ongoing. Next question, the 74th question, is on the revolutionary terrorist actions. The revolutionaries in the North India were the first to show the frustration and reorganize under the old veterans Ramprasad Mismal, Jogesh Chatterjee, and S.N. Sanyal. Bandi Jeevan, if you see, it is a textbook for revolutionary movement. Raj Bihari Bose and S.N. Sanyal, they attempted to kill Victor Hardinge, Viceroy Hardinge, sorry, not Victor, Viceroy Hardinge, Shukdev, Bhagwati Charan Vohra, Shiv Verma, Bijoy Sinha, Yashpal. They were the intellectuals of a higher order. The philosophy of bomb was written by B.C. Vohra, Bhagwati Chandra Vohra, at the instance of Azad. The draft of the famous statement of the revolutionary position. Bhagat Singh turned to Marxism and believed that revolution could only be achieved by the masses for masses. He helped establish the Punjab Navjan Bharat Sabha in 1926 as its founding secretary, an open wing of revolutionaries. Why Am I Atheist is the essay written by Bhagat Singh in 1930 in the Lahore Central Jail. As you all know, they were killed or they were hanged by the British on 24th of April. Right. So this is about the revolutionary terrorist actions. Next, the 75th question is on the urban centers. After the erosion of the Mughal power, the urban centers emerged. It brought changes in the network of trade. Example, the Portuguese settled in Panaji in 1510. The Dutch settled in Mausoleopatnam in 1605. The British came to Madras in 1639 and all. In the 18th century, new regional capitals emerged. Example, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Srirangapatnam, Pune, Nagpur, Baroda and Tanjavur. In the mid 18th century, the commercial centers like Surat, Dhaka and Mausoleopatnam all lost importance after the Battle of Plassey in 1757. The trade shifted to Madras, Calcutta and Bombay, where the new economic capitalist due to the trade activities of the East India Company plus the centers of the colonial administration power was there. By the end of 1800, Madras, Calcutta and Bombay became the biggest cities in India. Next, the 76th question is on Shigella. Shigella is the genus of bacteria causing the shigellosis. So, Shigella is a bacteria. It causes this gastrointestinal infection and it is caused by one of 4 species of the Shigella bacteria, including S. soni. And no vaccine is available for shigellosis as of now. The second leading cause for the bacterial diarrhea. It is transmitted through contaminated food, water, even person-to-person contact as well. It is endemic in the low or middle income countries. Next, the 77th question, and this is on Bose, Subhash Chandra Bose. So the spelling is wrong here, but it is on Subhash Chandra Bose. So Subhash Chandra Bose became the president of the Congress in 1938 Haripura session. In 1939 Tripuri session, Bose defeated Pattabi Sitaramaya, who was supported by Gandhi, nominated by Gandhi, and he won this presidentship. So even in this 1939 Tripuri session, Bose was the president. But later on, he resigned because of the differences with Gandhi. G.B. Pant moved the resolution at the Tripuri, expressing confidence in the old working committee and Gandhi's leadership of the movement, asking Bose to nominate his working committee as per the wishes of Gandhi. The resolution was passed by a big majority, but Gandhi did not approve this. After that, Bose resigned from the president post in 1939 April, after which he started the Forward Bloc in Congress. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the INC president after Bose resigned. Next, the Temple Entry Satyagraha. So, Temple Entry Satyagraha, this was very famous in South India. K. Kelappan, so he was the member of this Kerala Pradesh Congress Committee. He organized this Temple Entry movement at Guruvayur on the 1st of November 1931, and that time when the civil disobedience movement was suspended, it was organized then. This was actually to ensure that even the lower caste people also gets this temple entry. That was the main objective. And famous singing sword of Kerala, it also began march from Kannur in the north to Guruvayur on 21st of October. Okay, so volunteers came from the lowest of Harijans to highest caste Nambudiri. So all the people were part of it. It arose this anti-caste sentiments in the country overall. That's why this is very famous. And this also continued even after the civil disobedience movement was resumed, which was resumed in Jan 1932. Right. So this is about this temple entry movement. Gandhiji in fact asked Kelappan to break his fast temporarily when he was fasting. For this cause. Okay. And even though Guruvayur temple was not opened immediately, Satyagraha was a great success in broader terms. because it raised the consciousness of the people with regarding to the lower caste, and lower caste people got a lot of rights after this, right? So these are the questions for the day. We will again meet tomorrow and we will discuss the next set of questions, right? So that's it for today. So all the best. And guys, just one more small information. So we are putting all this effort for your benefit, so do like the video and share the video with your friends, and do leave your thoughts in the comments. If you have any more questions or if you have any suggestions, please do let us know your thoughts, right? So thank you and have a good day.